Another properties of the scattering matrix is the time reversal. Consider if time increased from t1 to t2, and a person is walked from t1 to t2 in this direction. And if we reverse the time, what will happen to the action of this person? You will see like this person will go from t1 to go from t2 to t1, right? So time reversal is equals to backward action. Just like you reverse the video, you will see people walk in a totally different direction. Okay? So how about the time reversal for the EM wave? Consider in the source-free region and in the time domain. The Maxwell equation can be written as curl E is minus mu partial H over partial T. And the curl H is epsilon partial E over partial T. And these two curl equations will define the wave propagation system. And if we inverse the time, T becomes minus T. And H switch to minus H. Then you will see like replace T and H here in these two equations by minus T and minus H. You will have curl E is minus mu partial minus H over partial minus T. And the curl H is epsilon. Sorry, here should be minus curl minus H is epsilon partial E over partial minus T. And you can see that if you replace T by minus T, H by minus H, the form of these two curl equations is the same here, right? The mathematical form are the same, means that the system is unchanged. So if you inverse the time, reverse the time, and you will find that the Maxwell equation will be the same. Besides, we know that in the time domain, the time dependence can be written as exponential j omega t, right? So if you inverse the time, it will become exponential j omega minus t. And we all know that minus j is the conjugate of j. So this term equals to exponential j omega t and conjugate. Okay, so if you inverse the time, means that you take the conjugate of the term. And this is the situation in time domain. And now we consider in frequency domain. Okay, in frequency domain, the Maxwell equation becomes curl E is minus j omega mu h. and the curl H is J omega epsilon E. Right? And now we take the conjugate of these two equations. If you take the conjugate of these two equations, you will see that curl E conjugate will be J omega mu H conjugate, and the curl H conjugate will become minus J omega epsilon E conjugate. But now we replace the E by replace E field by E conjugate, and the H field by minus H conjugate. Then you will see that the first equation here can be written as minus J omega mu minus H conjugate, right? And the second equation here can be rewritten as curl minus H conjugate will be J omega epsilon E conjugate. These two equations tell us that for the original equations, if you replace E field by E conjugate, replace H field by minus H conjugate, the whole equation is the same. The whole mathematical forms of this system is the same. So this also tells us that the system is unchanged. Okay, so in frequency domain, this means that if you take the conjugate of the system, the characteristics of this system is unchanged. Okay, so let's see what does it mean by take conjugate. We know that in frequency domain, the E field and the H field, they both in proportion to exponential minus jkz. Suppose that both these two fields propagate in plus z direction. But if you take the conjugate of these two fields, you will see the E conjugate and the minus H conjugate, they will in proportion to take the conjugate of this term, it will become exponential jkz. Okay, this means that the field will propagate in minus z direction. So in frequency domain, as you take the conjugate of the system, this means that all the field will propagate from the positive direction to the negative direction. That's why we have said backward action. So in frequency domain, you take the conjugate is equals to you take the time reverse in time domain. Okay?